Pinnock. Hi Leon, how are you?
Hey Graham, I'm good, my man. How are you?
Yeah, very well, thank you, very well. Thank you for coming on. I really appreciate it.
Yeah, no worries.
Excellent. So let's kick off. Basically, I just wanted to go through this interview, just ask you a few questions, and let's see where it goes. Uh,
hmm
so just for the viewers, Leon, can you just go through your story and how you became to become an entrepreneur?
Yeah, absolutely no problem. Well, I guess from when I was young, I really started to picture what I wanted out of life. And I remember when I was in high school, I ran like a backpack tuck shop with my best friend Tristan. I used to sell like sweets, chocolates, fizzy drinks, whatever.
Yeah.
And we made quite a lot of money, and we actually ended up putting the school tuck shop out of business. And although that sounds funny, I guess it was really understanding that I could make my own money. I could be my own boss. I could stand on my own 2 feet. And I was only 15 at the time. So that really opened my eyes as to what was possible in the world, if you know what I mean.
Yeah.
So anyway, I went, just carried on down the traditional route as what we're all taught, go to school, get good grades, go to college, get good grades, university, and then go and get that great paying job, and then you're set for life, right?
Yeah.
That's a story that we're all told. So that's what I went and did. Graduated, ended up with a nice graduate role, and quickly realized that that was nothing like what I wanted to do for the rest of my life. It was good. It paid okay. I just didn't have the freedom. I don't like being told what to do, when to do it, how much money I'm going to get paid for doing it. I want to be able to live life on my own terms, if you know what I mean, Graham.
Yeah.
So anyway, long story short, my good friend Angelica from college, we're having a good conversation over Facebook, just the same way I met you, and we had some talks about family, friends, success, careers, where we see ourselves going. Our ideal lives basically was the conversation. And anyway, she came back to me a couple of days later and she said, Leon, you know that conversation we had, were you being serious or were you just kind of, playing and messing around? I was like, absolutely not. I was being deadly serious. I want nothing more than to, first of all, retire my parents. I want nothing more than to pay off the rest of this mortgage, which we have achieved. Um, I want nothing more than to be able to travel around the world, live life on my own terms, and basically spend time how I want to spend time, invest
Yeah.
time how I want to invest time, not because I have to wake up to an alarm clock and do what someone else tells me to do.
Awesome.
So she said, okay, Leon, I need to run something by you. And I said, what might that be? And she said, well, I'm running with a unique opportunity and we're looking for some very ambitious, focused people who know where they're going in life. And I think that you'd be really, really good, a really good asset to the team. So I said, okay. Anyway, I had a look, and I ended up pretty much on a call like this. There was a guy from Wolverhampton called Phil, a really good guy, really successful. Uh, he said that he just left banking, and after just leaving banking, he'd then been able to build up an income as an entrepreneur
Yeah.
that had allowed him to leave banking. And that meant that he had the freedom that I was talking about. That meant that he was sat there in a hat with a hoodie on and his headphones in, and he was earning just as much money as he was making in banking before. So that was really attractive to me because that essentially is the life that I want, right?
Yeah.
So anyway, he broke down this company. He told me all about the products and the way that the opportunity and the business model works. It all made sense to me, was the first thing. And I always say if it makes sense, it makes money. And I loved it. I just loved it. I loved the whole idea. I was a bit skeptical, so it did take me a while to join.
Yeah.
I think it took me around about a month of just reviewing the information, really doing some serious research, because there are some haters out there when it comes to entrepreneurial ventures. There really are.
Yeah.
And it just made so much sense to me. And the products as well, the impact, the positive impact that it could have on people's lives really stood out to me. So anyway, I jumped on board. I've been about 15, 16 months doing this now. I'm actually full-time in the business now, which is fantastic. I have a little bit, I have a taste of what life will be like. Nowhere near where I want to be yet, so I'm still hungry, I'm still driven. But that is a basic summary of my story.
Right, excellent, wonderful. Um, sorry, excuse me. So you mentioned there, Phil from Wolverhampton, was it? Was a bank manager, then straight into network marketing, and now he's an entrepreneur.
Mm-hmm.
So what do you do on a daily basis to grow as an entrepreneur, just like Phil did?
Okay. Okay. Well, at first, obviously, um, it was a battle. You know, it was waking up, working on surviving at first, and then in the evening, it was you refuel, get some energy in real quick, and then get back to it. But obviously, not the job. Then working on my business and what I do on a day-to-day basis. The first thing I always do is some personal development because I think that's so important reading the right books, getting the right seeds sown in your mind. Because I read one thing the other day and it really did impact me. Doubt is like a disease. Once it gets in, it just spreads and infests your whole mindset. And I think that is the same in the sense of positive things as well. If you can plant enough positive seeds, they will spread and just invest in your mindset.
Yeah.
And so that's the first thing I always do. I do that in the morning. I also do that in the evening just before I'm about to go to sleep.
Yeah.
But when it gets into the nitty-gritty of obviously growing the business, the thing that I'm always doing, I'm constantly reaching out to people who I know, who are either people who I know just around the way or some of my close friends. When I first started, it was close friends.
Yeah.
Reaching out on Facebook, reaching out on the calls, whatever it may be. And as I've progressed and progressed, I've started to do what's known as attraction marketing.
Mm-hmm.
And the way I do that really is I use videos to give people content that I think will positively impact their lives. And then from there, I go on and build connections with people. And for the people, we just have general conversations about life, success, where we see ourselves going. I have this thing called FORM: family, occupation, recreation, and money. And we talk about those four things, and then eventually something comes up that is relevant to what I have to offer.
Yeah.
And from there, it makes absolute sense to go back to the person and say, hey, you know, you were talking that you'd like to spend more time with your family, but things at work don't allow you to do that. Yeah, what's going on? Well, I'm actually running with something that I think you may want to take a look at. Because if time freedom is something that you want, then I know some people who really have achieved that, really have been able to achieve that through this business. And then people say, okay, yeah, I'll have a look. And then that's it. That would be a basic day-to-day of what I do as an entrepreneur.
Right, excellent.
Always reaching out to 5 to 10 people a day at least.
Yeah, wonderful. And is that through what, Facebook, YouTube, or?
Yeah. Primarily Facebook, secondarily Instagram.
Right, excellent. So what was the tipping point for your business then?
Yeah, the first time I experienced real momentum was when I got fed up. If I'm honest, it was
Yeah.
when I got fed up. I remember there was my whole team quit. I built up a pretty good team, about 50 people strong, including customers, in Leeds. And some of the guys I went to uni with, because I actually did a business studies degree, which absolutely did not help me with this whatsoever. But, you know, I did that degree, and my first people that I went to speak to about this opportunity to really push this were obviously business graduates. Because they thought like me, they thought long term, you know, 3 to 5 years, build a business that will pay you for the rest of your life. And they jumped on board, they got excited, but they lost the vision, so they quit. So it was really when I watched my business go from about a £500 income residual to about £15 a month. And it was then I was like, right, okay, I know it's possible now because I've tasted it.
Yeah.
I know it can work. Just because these guys quit don't mean I'm going to quit. You know, I'm a leader. That's the whole point. I'm not a follower. If those guys quit, I'm not going to follow them out of the business. And that's what they all did, unfortunately. Yeah. So someone quit, and then, you know, because that one person had doubt, and this is what I was saying, because that one person had doubt, it spread between that person to that person to that person, and they all ended up dropping out.
Yeah.
So I got really, really fed up, really, really, really fed up. And it must have been a week or so, and I just reached out to like 150 people or something in a week. And I just did meeting after meeting after meeting after meeting, and finally found two real long-term visionaries who were just gonna make this happen no matter what. Those names, Jess and Leo, absolute lady bosses, as I love to call them, and they just they came into this business and they took charge. You know, they didn't hold no prisoners. They just went to work.
Awesome.
So that was when things really started to spin around. And again, I grew a team out, and I've managed to get myself back to where I first started. So obviously, was very happy with that.
Yeah, excellent. So what strategies and guidance do you give your team members to transition them from obviously when they join you to where they want to be in their business?
Mm-hmm. Okay. Well, the first thing we do is I really don't like to overwhelm people, because I think that I don't know if you know about Robert Kiyosaki and many of his teachings, like teaching the 4 quadrants and all that, employee mindset, self-employed, business owner, investor, all that stuff. I really think that unless they already have a business mind, they're gonna have to do some transitioning. If they got a business mind, I reckon you can just throw it all on them, because they're used to, sink or swim.
Yeah.
That's what business is. But when they're employees and that's where they've started and they're looking at this to get out of that, it's a little bit different. So what we have is called an action plan. And there's 2 types of these action plans. One is the full 25-page long action plan. And then one is called a one-pager. And the one-pager is really what we use to get people off to a great start at first. What that involves is first validating the person's decision to take charge of their financial situation and how they spend their time every day. Because I think it is important to give people that, that little bit of reassurance to get rid of whatever, nerves or little pieces of self-doubt that might be niggling in after they've just joined.
Yeah.
The second thing that we do is really tapping into what they want out of this. If they were to write down an ideal life, all limitations gone, everything gone.
Yeah.
No, everything is irrelevant. What would you want out of life if you could just pick it off a tree? That's the kind of ideas that we go with, and we have them write that out, and we call that in this business, and I'm sure you know, your why.
Yeah.
So people do that. So second step. Third step is giving them a little bit of education as to how their business will work. Obviously, this is a long-term business. To put it into perspective for people, I always say, look, after working for a month, my first check was like £6, and my biggest check so far has been around £750 for the month. So this isn't going to get rich quick. It doesn't work like that. It is a long-term journey, so that you can build this once and it will pay you forever. And how we paint that picture is just obviously showing them the laws of duplication. I think it's called, in a scientific or mathematical world, geometric progression.
All right. Yeah.
And essentially what that is you've got you, and you've got 2, and then you've got 4, and then you've got 8, 16, 32, on and on and on.
Yeah.
And 8 levels deep or 7 levels deep, you've got 1,000 and something people. So it's pretty exciting once people see that by simply telling and letting other people learn how to tell the story, they can really change their lives. So we go into that just to show them the picture, to understand the concept, that they don't need to convince or beg or whatever. They just need to find a few people, because one of my mentors says this, is a millionaire from this business, absolutely phenomenal man, Dan Sava, and he says this all the time: everything will change overnight once you find 2 or 3 serious people. So that's what we first showed them. 1, 2, 3. And then lastly, we lock it out with obviously the fuel to the business, which is the list, helping people to, first of all, list down their top 5 influential business people, or top 5 popular people, or people who are respected in the community or whatever,
Yeah.
people that they believe will do well if they join, then their top 25 potential customers, and that's obviously for a product reason, which we'll get into that. And then last from there, we have them go through what's called a memory jogger and then list out hundreds and hundreds and hundreds and hundreds of names so that they have so many people that they can speak to that they're not worried about the number of people that are going to say no. Because in this business, in any sales related business, you will always get more no's than yeses.
Yeah.
Always. Yeah. So that's what we do. And then last but not least, I mean, it is so important to have a good product, and it really is. But I really try to get the education of the product done before the training, because the product, as much as the product is so important, and I believe in my product, I really do. I love our product. But there are tons of companies with much worse products than us that have done very well financially, which means that in this industry, although the product is fantastic and it does way better things than the things that are sold in stores, the product isn't the key. It's the people in the system.
I get you. Yeah.
So we always really focus on that. I mean, I'm not going to call out any companies or anything, but I know some companies with great products.
Yeah.
So yeah, that's our basic like 4 or 5 step get people started, and then from there we really go about trying to make people as independent as possible, so that just like you and me, they can build this business with or without the people above them in the structure helping them out.
I get you. Right. Excellent. So, if you could just name the number one challenge that you're facing right now in your business.
Okay. The number one challenge. Do you mind if I combine two?
Yeah, go for it. Yeah.
Well, one is obviously creating momentum, which is hard in anything that anyone does. But once you've got it, it really does stick around, and that's quite powerful. I mean, you can think about it in so many different ways, creating momentum. Imagine you got a train on a track and it's not moving. All it would take is a little block of wood and it wouldn't move. If you put that in front of the wheel, it's not moving at all. It's stuck. However, once you've got momentum, that same train that was stuck by that one block of wood because it wasn't moving, will blast straight through a steel reinforced concrete wall if it's going about 50 miles an hour, and it won't even slow down. It'll just go straight through it.
Yeah.
And that's the hard thing, you know, it's the beginning phases. I mean, I'm sure, Graham, you remember when you were a kid, you used to play on roundabouts or whatever, and everyone sat on. Yeah. How hard is it to get that first piece of motion?
Yeah.
And that's exactly what this business is. You know, the hardest part in this business is creating momentum, but once you got it, you really can just chip and chip and chip and chip.
Yeah.
So I think that's the most difficult thing I've found in this business throughout my whole journey, not just right now. But secondarily, we live in an industry. We are in an industry of free market. You know, anyone can recruit anyone. Anyone can go to any company or whatever. One thing that has happened that is an interesting one. We've had a company pop up that is nothing like our company at all, but it seems to be attractive to certain people in our organisation, and they've been swayed to go over to that new deal. So that has been a bit of a challenge. But me personally, it doesn't bother me at all, because I think the champions will just win anyway.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Awesome. So, excuse me, what's the single most important reason for your success?
The single most important reason? Unwavering persistence.
Okay, persistence.
Mm-hmm. Like, no matter how happy or sad you are, you just gotta get up and do exactly what you need to do in order to create that life that you truly want.
Yeah. So being persistent, be consistent at what you're doing. Is that correct?
Yeah. Yeah.
Awesome. So what do you enjoy most about what you do?
People, if I'm honest. I love the products, but people, I love seeing when someone's new and they have no idea what this is, and then they see it and their eyes light up and they're like, yes, this can change every single thing that I don't like about my situation right now. Oh yes, this can give me the life that I've always wanted. This can get me into the house that I've always wanted, the car that I've always wanted. This will allow me to spend more time with my children. This will allow me to spend more time with my parents when they're retired or whatever. All those things, and seeing someone's emotional attachment to those ideas and being able to help them go in that direction. I think that's the most fulfilling thing from this business.
Yeah.
Secondarily, the product that we have is absolutely, it's just awesome. And I don't want to go down some health claims road. But some of the results that we're seeing from people, we've seen better results here than some people have had on medication for 20 years plus. So no health claims, and I'm not going to go into detail, but it's exciting stuff.
Okay.
It is, man. Life has been changed, and that's me personally. You know, I've been emotionally impacted by these products.
Right. Excellent. Excuse me. And what does the day in the life of Leon Pinnock consist of?
That depends. That depends on the day. At the weekends, it's always there's always a one or two meetings that I want him to do, whether that's through Skype or Zoom or Uvu, whatever. There's always a few meetings going on. Always try to do at least one meeting a day. But if I was going to take you from start to finish during the weekday, it's a bit different. Because during the weekday, I try to help out with other people and their businesses as well. So I do. It starts with the PD again. It always starts with the PD, and then it transitions into the prospecting. That generally starts towards like the evening times, because obviously when people have come out of work, when people are more available, unless of course they are entrepreneurs as well,
yeah,
which are obviously easier to speak to because you can speak to them whenever. Then it closes out again just with the same PD. I always try to make up a little bit of time to reach out to my team, to new people, or to people who, everyone's got their runners in the business, so I always try to reach out to them as well. But in the day in the life of me, always get some exercise in, even if it's just a little bit, because it can completely swing your mood. It really can. You can be having such an awful day, and if you just sweat for a little bit and then just go have a shower, and I'm telling you, you'll feel fine.
Yeah.
You'll feel fine. So that's kind of a day in the life of me. Always on social media, always trying to connect with new people and find some like-minded people who see what I see and want a similar life to me. Because, one thing I've learned about going through my days is you can't change people. They can change themselves.
Yeah.
You can't change them. So a day in the life of Leon, it's looking for like-minded people, whether it's when I'm just out and about doing some shopping or whatever, whether it's online, whatever. I'm always looking for new people. So that's the primary focus of my day, to be fair.
Right.
Especially.
Excellent. So Leon, just to wrap this up then, for the people that are watching now, if they wanted to get in contact with you, how would they be able to do that?
Well, I'm on Facebook, Leon Jermaine Pinnock. I'm sure we'll be able to post that in the comments below the video.
Yeah, definitely. That'll be in the description.
So on Instagram as Pinnacle. So my name Pinnock and then LE at the end.
Yeah.
You can follow me on there. Or if you'd like to get in contact with me by email, ljpinnock@gmail.com. Again, we'll put that in the comments.
Yeah.
But you can also have a look at the products that we have to offer and the business, because really, if any of this stuff that we've said on this call, and that Graham's obviously been continually interviewing people about, because this guy I know is in the trenches, is out there making it happen. If any of this stuff resonates with you, then just get in touch, because when you see, or if you see what we see, then I'm sure you will be just as excited as we are right now. And you can do that if you go onto my website, leonpinnock.vemma.eu. And again, that'll be posted in the comments below. And you can have a look at the product range, and then we can have a real good talk about what this is all about. And if this is something you want to do, we can set you some first short-term goals and get you into action to go get them.
Awesome, excellent.
Mm-hmm.
So for the viewers that are watching this right now, you've got some excellent content there from Leon. Great ways to get in contact with him. And also I've got some fantastic news for you because in the description to this video, I'm actually going to give you a free ebook called Cash Flow is King, how to generate more leads, more reps and make more money in your MLM business starting today. So Leon, thank you very much for coming on and speaking to me about yourself, about your business. So thank you very much for coming on.
Absolutely, no problem.
Excellent. And to all the viewers, I'll see you next time. Thank you.